Look at that.
Hey everybody, I'm Ross the Boss. I'm here with Suli McCullough. Suli, say hello to
What's
everybody.
up, y'all? Suli McCullough in the house. Crazy legs, if you
And
know and love me.
welcome back to Run It Back. We're excited to have you back. We're at episode 2. It's going to be a fun show. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you ring the bell. We're going to have a great show, and our sponsor Killcliff is here with us also. So make sure you buy a lot of Killcliff when you're on. Just go on Amazon and order it now when you're watching the show. It's
Exactly. It's
perfect.
it's there for you. All you got to do is order it. It's delicious. You
There you go.
subscribe to our show. I would be drinking it right now if I wasn't already drinking something. Okay.
There you go. So, Sully, we had a great week of basketball. I mean, this weekend, you couldn't ask for better games. I mean, there were 2 games that I loved that I wanted to ask you about that only happened 9 times in 23,500 games. Only happened 9 times, and it
Wait,
happened
what?
twice.
What?
Happened twice for the weekend. Under 10 seconds, up by 5. The team that's up usually wins 23,500 times in the
Wow.
past 20 years.
Wow.
2 times it did not happen over the weekend. The first game was Damian Lillard versus the Chicago Bulls. He plays in Portland. You
Yes.
saw the game.
Yes.
Tell me
I,
about it.
I did watch that game. That game was incredible. If you didn't watch the game, let me catch you up. That's what Run It Back is all about. Zach Levine was having a great game. He hit a big shot, but he forgot who he was playing against. And he was playing against none other than Dame Dollar and the Portland Trailblazers. And guess what, Ross the Boss? Guess what? It
What?
was Dame time. That's right. Them
2
kid,
threes.
two
2
threes
in 10 seconds.
That's right. And not just 2 threes, but 2 extremely difficult threes. All right. You got
Over a 7-footer.
Well, that's the
Over a 7-footer
last
with
one.
Dame.
That's the one for game. That's where it was really Dame time. All right. But the shot before that most people are not talking about is the 3 that he hit from the left corner to get them in the position to win. That was a difficult shot. All right. When he hit that shot, I was like, oh my God, this dude is incredible. All right. It really is Dame time. But then when he hit the game winner on a 7-footer.
Over a 7-footer.
Over a 7-footer. And let me tell you something, a 7-footer who let his hair grow. Okay, so that dude was even taller than 7 foot because with the hair, that's a whole nother situation. Dame time still knocked that jumper down for game. It wasn't as devastating as the Paul George bye-bye shot, but it was pretty ill.
Well, we talked about Damian last week. He's on fire. He had 44 points that game. He looked great. I mean, Portland's on a run. They're playing good basketball up in Portland. Let's talk about the game Sunday. Westbrook and Beal versus the Brooklyn Nets without Harden. Harden didn't play that game. But let's talk about that game. Same situation, under 10 seconds.
Right.
They're down by 5.
Right.
How did they win that? How did they win that game?
Well, I mean, I watched both these games, and that's the thing that Russell Westbrook gives you. When he is engaged and feels like somebody is challenging him, he's going to give you his all. In fact, that is why I am rocking the Westbrook jersey, okay? For that very reason, for that game. I was excited about that game. I knew Sunday evening that was where I was going to be, and I had full attention on that game. And as that game was going, I was like, okay, Brooklyn played a great game. KD was incredible. Joe Harris was hitting shots. You couldn't leave that guy open. I thought that, okay, they handled their business. No James Harden. They handled their business. But lo and behold, Bradley Beal, the real deal, the NBA scoring leader right now, had another monster performance. Let me tell you something, Ross. That dude gets tough buckets, okay? He hits the toughest shots for an undersized guard I think I've ever seen. So he had big buckets, and Westbrook would not be denied. I'll tell you what the play of the game was. Before Bradley Beal hit that big 3, the play of the game was the drive that Westbrook made on Kevin Durant.
I remember that play very well. I watched the game too. I love watching the Brooklyn Nets play. I love those. I love when all of them play together. Harden wasn't there. I
Right.
mean, I don't think they know what defense is, but I guess they don't really care
It's
about
not,
defense.
you know what
Doesn't
though?
matter.
It's not about defense for the Brooklyn Nets just yet. They traded away all their defense, okay? The defense that like they used to have a nice defensive presence, but they're not doing that now. They're in the business of outscoring you, okay? They're like, yeah, you can put up 120 something points, we'll put up 135. And normally that works. Like it was interesting to watch the late execution of that game. That was really fascinating to me because Kyrie did something really interesting. He just decided, look, no one can guard me. It's late in the fourth quarter. I'm just going to score. And that's what he did. He called his number 4 or 5 times in a row and hit the first 4 shots. I think he just missed the last shot. So it was a great game. Westbrook made a big 3 to ice it. I love that game. One of my favorite games.
So we have a question. Dr. Leo Marvin is actually no Dr. Leo Marvin. He lives in New Hampshire. Which teams do you see having the biggest chemistry issues, Suli? So out of the NBA, there's a lot of superstars on different teams like the Clippers, Kyrie and George. You got Davis and LeBron, and you got the whole mess in Brooklyn. What teams do you think have the biggest problems when it comes to managing their superstars together?
And are we talking just competitive teams or all teams in the league?
Just say all teams.
Okay, if we're going all teams in the league, I think right now we have to look at the Minnesota Timberwolves as having some problems in terms of their chemistry.
Worst record in the league. That's a good one.
Yeah, I just got to go there because I think that there's no leadership. You've got Karl Anthony Town out right now dealing with the COVID protocol issues, but he is basically your veteran. And right now you got a bunch of younger guys. You got the D'Angelo Russells of the world. You got the number 1 pick, Anthony Edwards. There's no real veteran presence that's going to guide those guys into making and playing winning basketball. So that's one team I'm looking at as having some chemistry issues. I would also say we were just talking about the Brooklyn Nets, and the Brooklyn Nets, we still don't know who's going to take the last shot. They're a work in progress. I like to think of them as new addition with Bobby Brown. Okay?
I like that one, Suli.
That's how I see the Nets.
So we have another question.
They got talent. Bobby Brown is always talented, but you just don't know if he's going to show up to the show.
Got it. One more question. Rick Ross, a security guard. Rick Ross, as you know, is a friend of the show. Are the Wizards going to blow up their team? Let me answer this first. I feel this game that they won on Sunday could be a stepping stone. I feel that game could maybe get them motivated to start winning again.
Yes.
Remember, they missed like 6 or 7 games because of COVID.
So
they can make these games up.
No other teams in the league had to deal with what they had to go through. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass. They missed 7 games in a row, right?
And theoretically, they're only 3 games back out of 8th place. So it's not like they can't do it.
It's not a failure.
The East is totally gettable for them. I agree with you, Julie. You know what? It's time for a Killcliff commercial. It's time for a commercial from Killcliff.
Okay. Well, we got it. We got to give Killcliff their time.
Here's their commercial. Make sure you buy their product. Killcliff, take it away.
We're gonna set the internet on with Killcliff Clean Energy. Flaming Joe. We're gonna set the internet on fire.
You gotta love when a beverage blows up a computer. How can you be mad at that?
I'm Ross the Boss, and I promote this product, Killcliff.
Yeah, and I'm Suli McCullough, and I like that you promote that product.
It's actually a great drink. Has no sugar. It doesn't make you crazy hyper. It's a great energy drink, and they have all these great flavors. You should really check it out. It's really good.
I will definitely check it out because I'm already crazy hyper. So
Suli, the Clippers are in first place, best record in the West, which is great.
Yes.
So what do you think is different from last? I know last year they played in that bubble. The bubble was awful for the Clippers. They lost in the first round.
Yes.
So what do you think is different this season compared to last season with the Clippers?
Well, I feel like the Clippers definitely have something to prove. They completely underachieved last season. The bubble was not it for them. Montrezl Harrell has gone away. He's now playing for the Lakers, so he has gone to the purple and gold dark side. I feel like Tyronn Lue has definitely got those guys motivated. I think we're seeing Kawhi Leonard actually lead in a way where he's being a more vocal leader.
And he's healthy. He's healthy this year.
Yes, that's true. No load management so far, which is fantastic.
Oh, not one game.
No,
and Paul George is playing like Paul George is having the best season of his life.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say that next. But I think it does start with your lead superstar. So the fact that Kawhi is more engaged, seems more involved with the well-being of the team, that makes a big difference. And I also think that this roster is very complementary to what the Clippers skill set is. We've got a couple guys that, I didn't think Serge Ibaka was going to make that much of a difference, but he's playing great. That next man up mentality seems to be playing itself very well. As a long-term Clipper fan who is often disappointed, I have to say, I'm sticking my chest out a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm feeling
Sully.
good
like
about
that.
myself.
You got to stick that chest out as much as you can right now. We're first place.
We are first place.
I watched the Knicks game on Saturday, and actually, it was a funny moment that happened. Emmanuel Quickly, who plays for the Knicks, is actually a really good player. He has a great touch. He does these great shots, fadeaways.
Yes.
He went to Kentucky. He's a great player. He actually went up to Lou Williams and told him, "You're my favorite player."
I love that moment. I love that moment.
Totally. Have you ever went up to a comedian? You're an established comedian for many years. Ever went up to a comedian and said, "You're my favorite comedian"? You ever done that?
You know what, Ross? I'm the kind of comedian that does do that. And I have done that over the years.
Who have you done it to?
I saw Dana Gould very recently in a place outside of comedy. And I said, Dana, you're one of my favorite comedians. I've said that if I love you as a comedian, I'm going to give you your props. I'm one of those dudes that's not afraid to give you your flowers. Okay.
I mean, here we got a question right now.
Is this Carcinio?
Yeah, why don't you read it, Sully?
This is Carcinio. Remember when Dana Carvey played Johnny Carson and Arsenio combined? The Nets are not going to win. They have no defense and no team. I can't see anything else.
And no team leaders. Just a bunch.
A bunch of Robins. Wow. That's kind of hard, Carcinio.
That's kind of hard.
Yes. Carcinio.
Give them a couple weeks to blend. Give them a couple weeks to learn how to play with each other. It doesn't happen overnight. You got Durant, Harden, Irving. It's a lot of ball to get around. As soon as they figure out, you'll see them walking off the court after big wins, like holding each other, grabbing, hugging each other.
Wait, what?
They're going to have the time of their life. But the whole thing about that is, I don't know how long it's going to last. Well, as soon as they start losing and start having pissy fits, there could be some really bad blood going on. What do you think, Sully, with the whole?
Well, I definitely, situation? I've already called the Nets, new addition with Bobby Brown, and you know what happened with the real new addition? Okay, Bobby Brown would go AWOL every now and again. We've already seen one member of the Nets go AWOL. I think with the Nets, Kevin Durant does what Kevin Durant does. He is Slim VP, okay? That dude gives you buckets. He is option number one. It's like, I'm going to do what I do, jump in, get in where you fit in. I did watch the post game with that game against the Wizards, and I will say this, Kyrie was very calm, he was very zen, and just said, hey, we made some mistakes. If you look at the box scores, guys came off the bench and put up numbers. A dude like Ish Smith had a great game. So they were very comfortable on the surface We'll see what happens. I think the big test will be tomorrow when the Brooklyn Nets face the first place Los Angeles Clippers.
So
that's going to be the taste.
So you brought up that Brooklyn and Wizards press conference. Scotty Brooks, the coach of the Wizards, was actually, it's my stupid quote of the week. He actually said he's going to celebrate because he beat the Nets.
Yeah.
He's going to celebrate not drinking champagne, not drinking a beer.
Right.
He's going to drink a White Claw. And he enjoys raspberry flavor. That's his favorite flavor. Is raspberry.
That's his favorite flavor. Raspberry.
Raspberry.
He's doing raspberry White Claws.
That's how he celebrates with White Claw raspberry.
Is he also pledging a sorority that I don't know about?
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, I don't know that many men that drink White Claw and tell about it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's pretty bold. That's bold ownership right there.
And that's my quote of the week for a head coach to say he's going to celebrate drinking a raspberry White Claw.
Yeah,
in the NBA, Scotty Brooks, who I respect, I loved him as a player and I love him as a coach. I think he's great.
Yeah,
but for him to say that kind of made me laugh and kind of made me think.
That's pretty hilarious.
So
enjoy your White Claws.
So the MVP, you know, we love talking about it.
Yeah.
Right
and
now
the MVP race has, you know, it's really stepped up. You've got a lot of guys that are definitely performing.
Stepped up and we're over a quarter past the season. I mean, a quarter of the season's done. Wow. So I watched that Nikolai Jokic.
The Joker? You watched the Joker?
Nikolai Jokic, and he had this career high of 46 points on yesterday. They played Utah. They snapped Utah's 11 game winning streak with ease. I mean, they beat Utah.
Yeah.
And the game was won like in the second quarter. It was over.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was another game that I watched. This weekend was a beautiful basketball weekend. But
Joker had 33 points in 1.5.
At the half.
Rebounds.
At the half.
At the half. He's leading the NBA in assists.
Yes.
Rebounds. He's always gets double doubles with points and rebounds. I mean, this guy's having a great year. I mean, do you put him on top of your list for MVP right now? If you were to pick the league MVP today, let's say today, who would it be? Tell me your top 5.
My top 5 MVP. Well, we've talked about this before, and I think when it's all said and done, LeBron James, King James, will be the MVP. I think he's playing at such a high level. I think he's mad last year he didn't get it. He knows this is year 18. The dude spends $1 million on his body. I spend upwards of $1,100 on mine. Okay. So take that for what you will.
That's not a month. That's a year.
And that's just in lotion. But I think LeBron James is at the top of my list.
Okay. LeBron's one. So you have LeBron. I have Joker.
Joker. I put Kevin Durant up there. I think that his comeback year has been pretty incredible. I put Joker up there. I'm going to put Dame Dollar up there just because what he's doing by himself is pretty incredible. And for my 5th person for MVP,
Embiid?
I'm going to go Embiid. Yep. I can't leave Embiid out.
Okay,
I got to reward the big man.
I was going to lecture you. I was
leaning towards Stephen Wardell Curry because he's having a good year, but I think Embiid's having a little better year. So I'll go Embiid.
So we're doing lists right now. Let's talk about the top 5 teams right now. Your power list in the NBA. Who are tell me your top 5 teams right now.
Right now, my top 5 teams.
Top 5, West and East. Go.
I'm going to go. You got to put Utah in there because that 10-game win streak was pretty incredible.
Win streak, yeah.
Okay, even though it was recently stopped, you still got to give them their props.
So you have Utah as your one team.
Not as my one. I want
to go in order. Tell me your one team
in order.
Right now.
Okay, in order.
Go.
Well, I'm going to give it up to the Clippers as number 1.
Clippers is my
because they're
one.
under the radar. They are under the radar.
They're flying
number
under
2,
the radar right now. No one's
number
noticing
2
them.
is still the Lakers.
Lakers are my 2. So far, you're doing
number 2.
You're doing Ross the Boss's thing right now.
Number 3 is I'll go with the Utah Jazz. I'm gonna put the Utah Jazz at 3.
I took the Sixers. The Sixers defense.
Okay.
Let me just say about the Sixers. The Sixers won on Saturday without Embiid. They beat the Pacers in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Their defense is playing unbelievable. I mean, their opponents are scoring under 100 points a game.
Okay.
I mean, they're playing great defense. They're playing like a team. I love their coach. As you know, we all love Rivers.
Yep.
You know, we love Doc.
I think Doc really is doing a great job because he's got these guys' ears. They're buying in. I think that
Great coach.
The toughest thing with the Sixers is keeping them motivated. Those guys have the big contracts. They've got all the fame. There's a Kardashian or two in the mix. So what they're doing is they're a full moving train. Whatever he's doing, he has got them buying in. So we'll see, but I can't put them as high as you do. You've got them one notch above where I have them.
And then I have the Jazz, and I also have the Nuggets as number 5. I don't know who's your 5 team, but I have the Nuggets as 5. Just because how they beat the Jazz the other day, and I just feel I like.
They handled them. They definitely handled those.
I mean,
guys.
I like the Jazz. I like the Nuggets also, but I don't know who your 5 is.
Right now, I guess my 5 would be. I would have to say the Sixers are my 5. I would have Utah above them, so the Sixers are my 5 team.
Suli, there's a great story that I loved because I love these type of stories when NBA players actually take the low road or I guess this is the high road.
Low road.
I want to say it's the high road. Just because he has to go to the G League. So Dennis Smith Jr., who was like a number 1 pick, I remember the Mavericks picked him in the first round. He's at the Knicks. He's not getting any playing time. He's sitting the bench, just relaxing, not hitting the court. He told the Knicks, I want to play in the G League, which is in Orlando. And, which is like, it's like minor league baseball. I mean,
absolutely.
You take buses.
Absolutely.
You're not staying in 5-star
hotels.
I mean, you're no private jets. You're flying Southwest.
Right.
But I mean,
you're playing for the love of the game, basically.
So he told the Knicks, he said, listen, send me to your G League. I want playing time. I want to, and this can help him, right? I mean, tell us why he did it, Suli.
Well, he's definitely a guy that loves the game and knows that with the way the rosters are now, it's winning time, dude. You got to get wins. The Knicks are showing promise right now. People are hopeful and excited about the Knicks. You've got a lot of young players. Julius Randle is playing great. That point guard, the young point guard, is doing great there.
Quickly.
You
got Alec Burks. You got Randle, you got RJ.
RJ Barrett is starting to show some promise. Like, you've got a really nice young nucleus.
Robinson,
and what's happening when the way the schedule is, a lot of teams are not getting the practice time in. So if you can't compete against the starters in practice, you got to get your run in where you can fit in. So I think stepping down to the G League, I really have a lot of respect for this young man. I think it's a smart way to go. You work on your game. Eyes are still on you. And that's the way you stay sharp. And let's not forget, Ross, you are auditioning for other teams. There's always movement in the NBA. Let's not forget that. So just because you're in a situation here where you're not getting minutes doesn't mean you're not going to catch somebody's eye that says, we need that guy. They can help us win some games. I think it's a smart move. Hats off to him for doing that. I don't know if you know about this, but Jeremy Lin Sanity, is also in the G League. So I heard he's back. There is a lot of talent in the G League. I
heard Lin's back. He wants back in the NBA. I love Lin Sanity when he was played for the Knicks. It was so much fun to watch that.
It was great.
And he actually went to Harvard too, which is a hard school for even Ross the Boss to get into. Suli,
I think that G League is it's not frowned upon. You know what I mean? Like, it's a place where you can go work on your game. I look at it as a lab. You know what I mean?
I agree.
A hooping lab.
I mean, I think I can play in the Z League. What do you think?
I would sign you up. I'd sign you up. You set some hard picks. I think we could make something happen. I'm going to talk to
Z
League All Stars
and see if he can make that happen for me.
Z League All Stars.
Suli, we do a segment every week. Last week we had Kobe Bryant's shoe, and
we did. We did.
We did Kobe. This week, I like to do the sneaker. So we're going to call this segment Suli's Sneaker Vault.
Yes.
So
and what this is,
we're going into your sneaker vault, and you're going to pull a new pair of shoes out for us. And
every time before we do Run It Back, I go into my sneaker closet.
Into your vault.
Well, To me, it's a closet. To you, it's a vault. It really is a vault. It has good. It's a vault because it's worth more than my checking account. Okay. So in my sneaker vault, I like to select a shoe. And because I went with the old school Westbrook, vintage Westbrook jersey,
I love that jersey.
To go with a complimentary pair of shoes. And so I'm going with the KD 2s. The KD 2s. Can you see those?
Put them more in the center. There you go. Now
there you go. Can you see the KD 2s?
Yes.
These are
sweet.
From 2010. 2010. So these are 11-year-old sneakers.
He was a rookie that second year.
That was the second year. Second year of Kevin Durant's signature
University
shoes.
of Texas. I remember when he came
out of Texas. I love Durant's game. What I liked about these shoes back in the day is Kevin Durant had a lower price point than most shoes. Like Kobe's were $140, $150. Jordans were $175. KD's were only $85.
How much are they worth now? Have you checked on eBay? How much are they worth now?
I did. I do a double check. I go eBay and I go StockX. So for those fans of StockX, you can get a new pair of those KD2s. That's the OKC away colorway for around $250.
That's not bad.
They've matured in value. I've got other sneakers in my vault that are worth more, but because I went with the vintage Westbrook jersey, I wanted to complement it with the 2010 Kevin Durant's from back in the day when they both were teammates, along with James Harden.
So I remember when he came out in the league, and I remember when that shoe came out. Of course, I didn't get a pair, but I loved watching KD play as a when he first started. He was unbelievable. I mean,
exactly.
So
a dude that big is not supposed to be that offensively gifted.
No, and he's shooting threes, and he's 7.
Yes,
he's 7'1".
Yes, he's 7 whatever he really is.
Yeah, and he's actually a really nice guy. I got to work with him a couple of times, and he's actually a really nice guy. And I got to hang out with his mom too, and she was
really?
Nice too. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a very nice family.
You gotta love that.
I wish him the best.
We love when he won his first MVP, how he was so congratulating of his teammates. That speech is like it's a classic speech in terms of being a good teammate who is also a superstar. I love that he thanked his mom. That was beautiful. So I've always been a KD fan. That's a good pair to have in your collection, and you're not going to find too many pairs that look like that. I mean, did you see how nice the condition was?
I'm very impressed with your shoe collection. All my shoes are ripped apart and look like they've been like in the mud and back. I really don't keep care of my shoes that well compared to yourself. It's like a bloodbath in there. But that's why I have a
vault. That's why I have a vault.
Suli, so over the weekend we got back one of the best players in the NBA. He came back after a 7-game stretch where he didn't play. Is Jimmy Butler.
Oh yes, Jimmy Buckets is back. Everybody,
so Buckets is back. He had 30 points. The Heat 7-12.
Yes.
Right now. And last year they went to the NBA Finals. Yes. And this year they're not even in the playoffs. It started today.
The start of this year has been a little like chaotic for them. So I'm going to give them a pass. I don't think the Heat are at full throttle. I will say this, Bam Adebayo is playing at a high clip. Duncan Robinson is still shooting those threes. Tyler Hero just came back. I am not really worried about the Miami Heat. They're well coached. They've got a good culture. They're going to be fine. I think that team needs Jimmy Butler to lead them. I think when they don't have Jimmy Butler in the mix, they lack a little focus. Jimmy Butler definitely gives them the focus. He's the big dog, the leader. He's the guy that, when he's on the court, you're going to be all right. So seeing him come back, I was very excited about that. I'm not worried about the Miami Heat. Can we sidebar just for a minute about the Heat?
Yeah, I'm a big Heat fan, as you know.
I know
love,
that.
I love watching them play, and I loved them when they had Wade, Bosh, and LeBron. That was great.
That was a classic team.
But
That was a
tell me,
classic team.
tell me, the sidebar.
Here's
about
the
Heat.
sidebar. The
I love to hear
sidebar
this.
is about the candy cane jersey. That jersey that's half pink and half blue. It looks like somebody took 2 Slurpees and just said, I don't care about my life anymore. Not a fan of that jersey, Ross. How do you feel about that jersey?
I feel they made that jersey just so people would say, that's a really cool jersey. I want to buy that online. And I feel that, I know Miami is like supposed to be this neon cool city with all these different colors and, all these different flavors and stuff. And like food and drinks and all that.
Yes.
But I feel it's like they're doing like a commercial for like some weird paint company or something.
Yes,
I just don't feel it's an NBA team. I feel it's like the Washington Generals when the Harlem Globetrotters played the Washington.
That jersey to me feels like a jersey that someone wears who's on Molly. I'm sorry. And I've heard people like really say they like that jersey. And I have to check out. So that's a Miami Heat sidebar. As much as I love jerseys, you will probably never see me in the double candy cane alcohol infused jersey.
With Butler in the back, you wouldn't wear the Butler jersey.
Not that one.
Candy cane.
Not that
one. I agree with you.
One.
I mean, it's probably one of the ugliest jerseys I've seen in the NBA. As you know, I'm not a big Celtic fan. So when I see the Celtic green being worn, I'm not a big fan of that either. Sure. And talking about the Celtics Lakers, they played on Saturday night.
That was another fantastic game.
That was a 1-point game, Sully. Did you see it? Tell me what you thought about that game.
First of all, Jason Tatum is incredible. That pass that he made going out of bounds behind the back, not just behind the back. It was incredible. Behind the back, on the money to the running player for a layup. It was beautiful.
It was unbelievable.
It was beautiful. And he did it in stride, effortless, like he wasn't even thinking.
And he's 23 years old.
The dude is 23 years old, okay? Big fan of Jason Tatum. I wanted Kemba Walker to hit that step back for game. That is his go-to move. He makes that shot 9 times out of 10. I'm sure he probably stayed up late that night wishing he could get that shot back because he did everything in his power. That's his go-to move to get a bucket. He should have hit it. Jaylen Brown is very impressive. That dude continues to impress me.
Jaylen Brown's, we'll talk about it next week. Jaylen Brown's an all-star in my book. We'll talk about that next week.
Next week we're talking all-stars.
Possible all-stars. We got a question from somebody we got Tony Todd.
Tony Todd, the great Ross, Tony Todd. Wearing?
Is that a Black Panther 2 outfit? Tony, I got this actually.
Wow. Shots fired.
I got this in Africa, actually, in Congo, and it's from the Zulu tribe because it's the first day of what, Sully? Black History Month.
It's the first day of Black History Month.
There you go.
And if you try and tell me all History Month, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go crazy.
No, I really enjoy Black History Month because they used to do this on TV. I don't know if you remember this. They used to have like a fact, like every night.
A Black History fact?
Yeah, remember they have a Black History. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, they need that. They need to bring back the Black History fact.
They should. There was always like a fact about
the Barkays or the guy, how many members of Earth, Wind, and Fire there are.
No, like the cotton gin. Like people.
Did you say the cotton gin? A fact about the cotton gin?
No, remember they used to say the guy who invented it was like
Eli Whitney.
Yeah,
the fact Whitney? That I know that
that's good.
But
they always had like great facts, like like Harriet Tubman, all this great stuff. And I used to really enjoy it. They don't do that anymore. But
they need to bring that back.
Question,
that was a great question, Tony Todd. I appreciate that. That was a good one. That was a good one. And you know what I like, Ross? That you had to set Tony Todd straight and let him know that that's not just a goodwill daishiki. That is a real deal from the motherland.
From the motherland. There you go.
That's some realness.
Okay, we got a fancy
to the boss.
Okay, Sully, I know you're not a fancy basketball guy, but we got a question. Some Sam Jakowitz I just traded LeBron for Kawhi.
Kawhi is averaging
four more points in my league. I'm going to trade Kawhi later
because he
rests a lot of games toward the end.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong picking up Kawhi. I'm not going to get mad at that. So far, Kawhi has not been resting games. So you may get out of the Kawhi business when you really don't have to. It's almost like a even Steven swap, in my opinion, because both of those guys are going to give you big points. They're going to give you lots of rebounds. They're going to give you lots of assists. If you're getting fantasy point numbers from both of them, you're winning the game. So I'm not mad at that at all. You have to just kind of look at the schedule. The Clippers do have a tough week this week because they play the Nets tomorrow and they play the Celtics later on.
Yeah, but in fantasy sports, it doesn't matter if they win or lose, Sully. The Nets don't play defense. Kawhi's going to have 40 points on tomorrow.
but they are playing the Celtics later on, and that is a defensively sound team. So
yeah, you're right, but the Nets aren't.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying you got to pick your poison how long you're going to stick with Kawhi before you eventually go back to LeBron.
Tony
Todd is back.
I'm reading for Roots
5 tomorrow. Oh, they're on 5 now?
I'm reading for Roots 5 tomorrow. He was actually the baby in Roots.
Oh, was he really? He was really good in that.
He held up.
Really good in that. He was the baby.
Montage.
Behold, you're going to hit 400 in your rookie season.
Yeah, he's the baby. He's famous for that. Tony Todd.
Todd wants to kill you on the jersey, on the dashiki. He doesn't realize it's from Mother Africa.
Sully, so the Lakers played before the Celtics. They played Detroit, and they just didn't lose. They got smoked. I mean,
well, let me tell you something,
bad
Ross. That was one of the worst Laker games I've seen in over a year. I don't think they played that bad in the bubble. I felt like maybe, and this is going to sound crazy, Ross, maybe Blake Griffin went to LeBron before the game and said, hey, man, I used to have a lot of commercials. I don't have commercials now. Can you just drink this liquid that'll make you dizzy, and then I can have a good game and restore my career?
And Blake had 20 points and a bunch of
exactly. It was a rare Blake Griffin sighting.
It was like
I almost wanted to give Blake a commercial just because they won.
But that was I cannot believe the Lakers got smoked by Detroit. That's one of the biggest upsets I've seen in the NBA.
Absolutely. In a year of blowout games, that was the most unlikely game. I turned that game on briefly. They were losing, and I was like, wow, the Lakers are really going to lose this game. And then I had to go away. But I was happy for Blake Griffin. So nice to see Blake Griffin. Some of us have forgot he's in the league. It was a great reminder.
Yeah, I agree. And he has not been playing that well throughout he's not been playing well. His stats have been really low.
Exactly.
I think he's going to be traded before the All-Star break. We'll see what happens.
Wow. So that might be our finest moment, seeing Blake Griffin in a Detroit Pistons uniform.
I think he's gone. and that all being said, Sully, there's also rumors about
Bradley Beal.
About Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball, sure.
JJ Redick being traded because.
Well, I'm glad that you brought this up because I think that game was a big game. Right now, I think it's fair to say that for all the high expectations of the Pelicans, they are still somewhat underperforming. And they're not really clicking in the way that they should. Brandon Ingram is awesome. I'm not mad at that guy. The jury's still out on Bledsoe. Zion, he's getting more minutes. I do love that they're letting him stay on the court and figure it out. But, it's Lonzo and, I'm not going to blame Redick. Redick's a dude that does what he does. You know what I mean?
Redick's not hitting. Sully, I've watched those games. Redick's hitting 19% of his 3-point shots.
That's not going to get it done.
He's not the same player he was. He really lost the step. I love JJ Redick. I love when he played for the Clippers.
Yeah. JJ Redick is always overperformed.
He's probably one of the best college players.
Yes, yeah. I'm not going to hold it against JJ Redick. I do think Lonzo Ball, he had a great game this weekend. I'll give him his props. He did have a really good game. He shot the ball well. He was aggressive. I was happy for him because he kind of like quieted the naysayers a little bit. But he's in the hot seat, and I think he is going to be in the hot seat for most of this month. So he's really got to step it up. He's got to take a page. He's got to drink whatever his brother's drinking because his brother.
Let's talk about his brother LaMelo.
Yes.
There's a segment.
He's the flavor of the month.
I call this segment start or sit, just because LaMelo Ball, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists over the weekend. This kid's like having a great season. He's a rookie, but for some reason the coach does not start him. He hasn't come off the bench.
Well, he did get a starting. He started tonight.
Oh, he did start tonight.
Tonight's game
because of Ross the Boss.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I said a few things on the air about that. But so
did you show up in your dashiki?
Yeah, exactly. Do you think it's good or bad for a rookie like him? I think he's 20 years old, or is he 19?
Yes.
He's very young.
He's very young.
He's playing great. I mean, I love watching that kid play. I think he's going to be rookie of the year. Do you think
over Wiseman
for him to start, or do you think they should develop him slowly so he gets his confidence up and nothing bad happens to the kid? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think the dude already has confidence, so there's no getting his confidence up. His confidence is already up. I think that he's an energy guy. The team feeds off that young energy, and sometimes you need a guy that has young energy. He's got kind of that same energy that Gilbert Arenas used to have with the Wizards back in the day, where that team fed off him. So I think the more you utilize that and put him in positions where he can do what he does, the better off you are. I want to see more minutes for him. I say figure it out. The only way you learn how to be a force in this league is by being in the line of fire. So put him out there. Let him start.
Out there.
Give him those minutes. Yep.
I agree with you. Plays in a small market. The pressure's low. Charlotte is for him. I think there's no pressure. It's not like he's playing in LA or New York.
Nope.
He could go out there. He can actually get playing time. He has his team. I love his teammates.
He throws a lot of alley-oops, so he's looking for other players. It's not like he's just going out there trying to get his, but the more he's on the court, I have no problem with it. He's
keep his dad away from him too. His dad.
Yes, yeah. Well, when Lonzo had a good game this weekend, I really thought it was the father making a call. I did think the father had something to do with it. It's that dad energy. Sometimes if you think your dad is going to break out the belt, you find your game.
You do find your game.
Yeah.
Suli, you know what? Great show today. I'm excited. If you like what you watched, or if you didn't like what you watched, you press subscribe, you press the bell.
I think you need to subscribe to this show, people. Run It Back is here for you. This is your show. I have more jerseys. Run It Back. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and also follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter.
What you're saying is follow us on all social media, right, Ross? On
social medias. We're always doing funny stuff on social media. It's a great place for you guys to go and follow us. I'm Ross the Boss. That's Suli McCullough. And this is Run It Back. We'll see you guys next week.
More basketball, y'all.
By any case of Hillcliff, the clean energy drink, and get dinner for two on the moon. Go to hillcliff.com.
Offer valid, totally valid. Transportation to the moon not included. Dinner not to exceed $50 US or moon dollars, whichever is less at the time of redemption. We have no idea what the currency exchange rate is on the moon. We totally made that part up. They sound cool, but there's no such thing as moon dollars. But it would be neat if there were. Hillcliff, big on huge in space, created by a Navy SEAL for people who aren't Navy SEALs. The official energy drink of Space Force and other people who aren't Navy SEALs. The biggest no-brainer in the history of drinks.